Welcome back to the Thought Arcade. Today is a very beautiful day. College football is around us. It's nice and sunny outside where I am. It's not fall weather anymore. It's back in the 80s.
Yeah, it's kind of summery again.
Yeah, it's lame.
So yeah, I'm drinking a nice iced tea that Emily made. Sweet tea. We're just gonna be chilling. Just come grab a nice beverage, chill with us. He's got
White Claw. You had your chance to sponsor us.
You had your chance.
Oh wow!
You had your chance, White Claw.
Dang, shots fired, dude.
That's how you're starting the day, though. Truly's at 11:30.
Yeah.
I got a nice little Celsius heat cherry lime.
Nice.
There we go.
Good. My favorite one.
Cherry lime.
I found a zero sugar Mountain Dew Gamer Fuel.
Oh, dude, which one is it? The watermelon?
It's the watermelon one. So I'm gonna try that a little bit later.
Dude, that one. I have yet to try it, but I see it and I'm like, dude, that thing is probably awesome.
Yeah. Watermelon Mountain Dew. That's the top.
I know, right? Like that was the mashup.
Like a lot of places are doing watermelon though. Like Truly had a watermelon kiwi come out, and then Monster come out with the zero sugar watermelon, which is really good. Mm-hmm. Red Bull has a watermelon, the red edition. All these sort of watermelon flavors are coming out, and it's not watermelon season, y'all. It's pumpkin spice season still.
Exactly. That's true.
It's not peppermint mocha season yet either.
That's also true. But people are really doing their Christmas up already, dude.
Our apartment already has Christmas lights.
Did you put your Christmas tree up already?
Yeah, I got matching Christmas or matching pajamas for me and Archie.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my god!
They're elf ones. So I have
not wearing them though.
Pajamas. No, we're not wearing them yet. We're strictly waiting. But I figured those would be the first things out of stock. Which, by the way, they were.
Wow!
Because I had to go return Archie's because I got them too big. I just tried to jump on it as soon as possible.
I was talking to a former coworker of mine, and she's getting like a different colored tree and stuff, and I was like, it's a little early for that, don't you think? Because I know her, and I know how she is, and she's like, I know, but this year we kind of need it early, and I was like, I can't argue with that.
Okay.
I can't argue with that. We need some Christmas cheer up in the air.
Elijah knows when to start Christmas stuff. When is the date that you give yourself and others to start Christmas?
I give myself Black Friday.
Black Friday.
Trivia. Who knows why it's called Black Friday?
I forgot. Wait, no, I see. I'm confused.
Because you actually told me. Elijah told me. So it's because sales are in the negative up until that point, and then that's when they switch over. They begin making their profit is because everything goes on sale that one day.
That's right.
It's because we all, as consumers, realizing that we need to put product and capital back into the economy, or else it'll die. Right. We realize this. We all collectively come together during the holiday season to do that, and that's why it's called Black Friday. Because most way back when, especially Sears and all these places, they were red for 90% of the year, and then they made all of their money in November and December. But Black Friday is the start of of Christmas, and then I keep it through the first week of New Year.
Okay.
So after that, then it's done.
Those are my
so
okay. So the 5th of January, it's
exactly
time to cut it off.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah.
And that's everyone's starting that up really, really quick. And Black Friday is happening earlier than ever this time around. It's barely November, and I've already seen sales and stuff.
We talked about how Target is already doing sale. Walmart's already doing sales. Home Depot is already doing stuff. They're really pushing it this year, and I think because of COVID and we haven't put enough capital back into the economy at all because of COVID. We haven't shopped or anything like that. Mm-hmm. People aren't going to dying, decaying malls, you know, like even like Amazon and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think that's why they're starting all this stuff super early, because they're like, hey, like we have to do something, you know.
Yeah.
And to your the person you were talking about's point is that we need Christmas cheer right now. Like,
yeah,
we're so low on Christmas cheer. Like this would be another like good Elf premise, like Elf 2. You know what I mean? Like everyone needs Christmas cheer during like the worst pandemic ever type of thing.
The best way to spread Christmas cheer, singing loudly for all to hear, you know. So we all gotta just sing. We'll do a podcast where we're just caroling.
Or just God.
Nope.
No one.
No.
Vetoed.
Wow.
Vetoed.
I see how it is. But yeah, so like she stated that, and I was like, you know what? I really can't. I can't argue that point. You know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And yeah, like one of our neighbors here in the apartment, like already put up their Christmas lights.
Jeez.
So.
Man. Yeah, we visited Corpus, and there, across from Emily's dad's place, there was already completely lit up yards, like fully decked out Christmas stuff. Absolutely crazy how early people get ready.
Yeah, it really is, and like I'm ready to go, you know. But I know that Thanksgiving's here, so
yeah, Thanksgiving.
Me and Val discussed our Thanksgiving menu.
Oh yeah, already planning the dinner or the lunch.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, so wait, are you guys coming back to Austin?
No. Val works Thanksgiving Day,
man,
and so we won't be able to make it. But I will most likely have the day off. And so we like discussed like having like a small menu. So like we're gonna do like a small turkey, and then we're putting up. Then like we'll each choose a side, and then I'm gonna try to make my first pumpkin pie.
Ooh, like from scratch?
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, you already got your cream corn recipe,
exactly,
which is on point.
Mm-hmm.
The big deal, I think, the hard part for Thanksgiving, and my sisters used to take over that, was making the rolls like from hand.
Oh yeah,
I feel like that's probably like a really like expert level dish to make.
Yeah.
But yeah,
no, I'm just gonna do like HEB used to have like the like 12 pack or whatever of like those dinner rolls. They just throw them in the oven for like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We always did that last. We always had 2 people on it at my house, because if they were burned, that person was shunned. Like they didn't eat, you know.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, like they packed up and left.
They're out of here. Get them out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So speaking of like Trulies and stuff, White Claw, if you're a fan of White Claw, we're not anymore because they haven't sponsored our show.
Because they chose not to sponsor us. Those heathens.
And I'm about to...
You missed out.
I'm about to promote their newest drink too. So their iced tea, like Chris sent us like the iced tea White Claw edition or something that's coming out, and that's interesting. That's probably
interesting.
It's a variety pack, so it has like regular iced tea, and it has like that Arnold Palmer like lemon, or not lemonade iced tea, but like lemon iced tea, and then like it's a cool little variety pack based on iced tea. So it sounds good, and like I like those spiked teas, especially like if White Claw does it. I feel like it won't be like as intense.
Yeah,
but again, I probably won't drink it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm not like the biggest fan of like spiked tea though. I remember a long time ago there used to be this product called Firefly, which was sweet tea and vodka, and it was okay. It wasn't anything to like write home about.
Yeah,
but I just prefer just a nice, simple sugar tea.
Just sugar.
Just sugar with a little bit of tea in it.
Okay, hold on. Seltzers, what kind of alcohol is in them? Is it is seltzer the type? Is it just flavored seltzer?
Seltzer is just water.
It's carbonated water.
Carbonated water. That's what seltzer is.
Yeah.
So then what type of alcohol is in?
It's just grain alcohol, like beer.
Yeah.
All alcohol is grain alcohol. There's no like specific type. Like vodka is the same thing as Everclear. It's all the same. It's grain alcohol.
Vodka is from potatoes.
It could be from grapes as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Vodka can
it
be
just
from
depends on the
grapes?
type of.
Vodka is from potatoes, I believe, and like whiskeys and rums, I believe, are made from.
Well, the thing about rum is that instead of using sugar, it uses molasses.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
But like grain alcohol, it's you can derive it from different things like barley, wheat, rye. There's like a rye whiskey, and then like whiskey and cognacs and all that stuff are all just like how you prepare it.
Yeah.
So it's all about like how you prepare, like because like beers, there's different kinds of beers, and it's just about all how you prepare the beer. It's all made with the same stuff, though.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. I would guess that it's made from
like
the
Grey
stuff
Goose is vodka, but it's made with grapes.
You think so?
Yeah, it says it on the bottle.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And then
Isn't that just
like
wine,
normal, huh?
Wouldn't it be
Isn't that just wine at that point? Like doesn't that doesn't really differentiate it? I'm an alcohol novice, dude. I don't know how things are made.
I'm
But
not
the
sure.
moment it
That's a good
has
question.
the moment it has grapes, it's wine. That's wine to me.
Like,
Well, I mean,
No,
it's
potatoes and vodka.
berries and stuff like that. It's just it's like how you ferment.
like, and that's the thing. It's not just there's so many different ways to do it. Like whiskey, they age them in barrels and stuff like that.
Yeah,
They filter them through like coal sometimes, and like that's what is considered like actual Kentucky bourbon type of stuff.
yeah.
When they filter them through coals and or charcoal, like there's so many different types of ways to do that. But yeah. I mean, White Claw, I don't know what White Claw. I don't know how they do that. They just
I don't know either.
put Alka-Seltzer and then
they just inject CO2 into the water.
Yeah,
and it makes it bubbly.
And then
but I don't know how they do the alcohol thing. We need a
lemon on it, lime.
We need a how it's made.
Yeah. What if it's all based on your psyche? Like, think about it,
dude.
Their whole premise is that. Hold on. Deep state. Their whole premise is that you think you're getting drunk, but you're actually not.
They've done studies like that.
Oh, like a placebo.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, like they've done like everyone drinks White Claw, but like half of them are just carbonated water, and the other half is actual White Claw. And like the people that weren't drinking, were like pretending to be more drunk. It could be all psyche. I wouldn't put it past that.
Yeah, Emily and Jay are getting these sparkling waters from HEB, and I had one, and I kind of felt tipsy. I felt funny.
See,
that's because you're drinking sparkling water in general, though. I don't.
Yeah,
cool. What if that's what they're trying to do? Also, is that like you drink so many White Claws that when you drink any kind of just sparkling water, it associates with the White Claw, so it just
implanting or whatever,
like dopamine in your brain or whatever. It's just have the same happiness and drunkenness you do on White Claw. What if White Claw is just one big manipulative, just alcoholic company? What if it's not even alcoholic at that point, right? It's all psyche.
My gosh. I don't know how to combat that. That could be true.
You look into it. We'll look into it.
This is all because White Claw didn't sponsor us. Now we're coming after you, White Claw.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you made an enemy.
We're investigative podcasters here. That's what we're gonna do next.
Yeah.
You did this to yourself.
We're investigative, opinion-based journalists.
Exactly.
Yeah. All feelings, no facts.
Yeah, exactly. So, but there's actually a couple good college football's in full swing, and the Pac-12 makes its debut today. And I question everything that Pac-12 has done. And why are you playing? Like, you've already canceled a bunch of games, and you have 5 games left.
Yeah.
You're not going to the playoff with a 6-game schedule. Sorry. Bye. Go away.
Hey, laters.
So like, why did I don't know why they started football. I don't. Like, I don't get me wrong. Like, I think it's an okay conference. Like, they have USC, of course, the blue blood, and they got, Oregon, Stanford's rebuilding. But it just frustrates me of like why are you starting to play? Like,
do you? Let me ask you this because that kind of ties into the news that basketball is going to be starting on Christmas too, or like post Christmas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think because like the Corona sports happened, do you think it would have been a lot smarter to just take a year off across the board? Because I don't think there were as many fans watching sports this year around. Just based off.
Well, just because they all thought it was canceled, and then if you're, and then you have like a different product that you're presenting, it's not going to go well with somebody. Like if like Game of Thrones changed their writing staff and season 8 was written, and
that could never happen though. With Game
of
Thrones.
That's so true.
That's exactly
but
right.
I think that it would have been smarter to not play, but it's an industry, it's a business. First off, we got to establish that it's a business and they're there to make money, and they're gonna make money somehow, and you have a legality.
I'm asking more hypothetical, like what would you do? Like personally, it is your business. What is Elijah Otto thinking should happen to the sport so we have enough time?
I think that I would advocate to not play.
Okay.
If a ruling, but like if I was like one of the NFL owners, I would argue to not play. Like I get it, you're a $4 billion industry. You're gonna be fine if you took a year off and found yourself.
I actually read that the NFL projected to lose like $2.7 billion this year.
Yeah, because people aren't buying tickets.
Right.
People aren't buying the $40 nachos and the $6 beers.
So that
like
hurts.
Like you're not.
Jersey sales are down.
Yeah, and people aren't going to buy jersey. Like people aren't going to buy your product if they aren't engaged in it. Like I typically buy a Texans t-shirt, but I'm not buying one this year. I don't feel like it.
You don't believe
there's no real point.
I also don't believe in them. You're right. So like I would advocate to not play. Let's go to Europe. Let's find ourselves. Let's backpack through the Alps and come back and regroup. That's what I would do,
dude. Go on find yourself journey first.
Yeah, but I think they were pressured into play because of TV contracts mostly. I mean, ESPN needs to put a product on the field. That's why they have 40 bowl games. They have to put something on.
A lot of these players want their money's worth too, though.
And a lot of these things are like stipulated in contracts. Like if you don't play, you're not going to get paid.
Right.
That's why it's so detrimental to players to like sit out if they're trying to negotiate. Like the whole Ezekiel Elliott thing. Like he sat out. Or what's the other running back? Oh God, he was with the Steelers, went to the Jets, and now he got released, went to the Chiefs. Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell. Like he sat out and he skipped on like a couple $1 million because he's not playing.
Yeah.
So I think there was, it's rough. It's rough. It's been a whole rough, thing, but yeah, I just question the Pac-12 because you're not going to the playoff, and and you're gonna send a 3-3 team to a bowl game. That it's not gonna do anything for you. Like you get the extra practices, cool. That's it.
Yeah,
So
I think with that more so it was so teams could scout. I think they at least need to have some sort of games to see. I see what you're saying. There's legitimate no point in having a
there's no upside to it in the overall scheme of things.
Yeah, and so it's probably best
make it by pretty much.
Yeah,
make it by like as much as you can. That's what I saw.
Yeah. So it's probably best for like these teams to at least play a game so scouts can come and see how they play more. So it was more of like the individual player aspect of it, like with the season resuming. Like they don't care about the games itself. Like they'll play. If they win, they win. If they lose, they lose. It's a lost season anyways. Let's see which players are going to go to the NFL and which aren't.
Yeah. Like that's why I'm questioning teams, that like aren't in the playoff hunt anymore. like how does a Kentucky play? You know, going down the stretch. How does, you know, like Duke has a football program. Like how do they go? You know. So that's you know, like how do they play? Like, are they just gonna get steamrolled? Are they gonna be motivated to even play? You know. So
yeah, that's true.
It'll be interesting to see. Like I'm curious to see how like USC and Oregon are probably the two best cases to make the college football playoff. But I would rather put someone who played an 8 or 9 game schedule like in Oklahoma State or something like that compared to a 5-1, you know, USC or Oregon.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Check it out, guys. We got the Antonio.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
There he is.
Hey, man.
So tell us, Elijah, about the big news from you.
Yeah.
You got something happening in the works right now.
I do.
Which is freaking cool.
Yeah. So after 17 and a half years being unemployed.
Yeah, 17 years of COVID.
Yeah.
17 years of COVID. Can you imagine?
Finally found a job, and I was finally hired. And I'm very excited about this job. It does not pay very well. The hours are just part-time. Yeah. But to me, like, that doesn't quite matter because I'll find a way to make it work. Oh, but I am going to be a crew member of the USS Kidd museum ship here in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a World War II destroyer that was preserved and brought here to Baton Rouge.
That's crazy.
And it's got a maritime museum attached to it. I stayed on it when I was in high school. I did like an overnight program. Really? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did an overnight program with it. Last Thursday, I found their website, and they were hiring. I applied, got an interview on Friday, and then I got a job offer and everything. You know, that day. So I'm very excited to start.
Aspen's excited for you. We got Kira up in here excited for you as well.
Thank you. And it's like this is like one of those sort of like dream job things. Like I'm gonna work on. I have a degree in history. I love World War II, and so I'm working on all that stuff. And so like this part-time will also provide me flexibility to like if I wanted to go back to school, I can have time to do that.
Yeah.
And now I can actually say that I have, you know, not like curation experience, but like, I worked in a museum and I know how to maintain stuff, you know? Yeah. So very excited. If anybody's in the Baton Rouge area, I also recommend they have a really good volunteer program run by the ship superintendent and education outreach coordinator. Really great guy from LSU. You know, he's from the area, and he, me and him talked for like 40 minutes just about like history and stuff. It was great. And so they have a really great volunteer program. You know, come out and you can restore a ship. You know, and that's like this is stuff from World War II. Like this was actually in combat. You know, people served on this ship throughout the Cold War and stuff like that. It's been restored to its World War II configuration, and it's the only Fletcher class destroyer in the world that has that. And there's 3 of them still today. So,
jeez, man.
So yeah, I'm very excited. I can't wait. I start Monday.
Dope.
So
that's dope, man.
Yeah.
Super you start Monday?
Yeah, start Monday.
Yeah.
Dude, that's soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's happening, dude. And that's good because I know.
And then I'm gonna get that money for that Xbox Series X or PS5, so I don't have to, you know, I don't have to steal one from a kid. So,
dude, okay. So to go off of that real quick, the only thing I need like an actual console for is Rogue Company, which is a game that all 3 of us are planning on play together, and I'll just play that on my PS4. Mm-hmm. But literally everything else is starting to go cross-platform. There's this other game called Ark that I play that my little brother has on Xbox and I have on PC. Mm-hmm. We've played it together. The new Call of Duty Cold War is supposed to be cross-play. The only thing is it's 200 gigabytes, but I mean I have enough space. It's a lot.
I bought a terabyte hard drive for that. like just for that game. So
yeah. But it's like so convenient now because it's kind of like bringing back that whole like split screen feel. Like I don't have to like go out and buy a console now. And I think that's what we were worried about too, is because I was a PC gamer and both of you guys were planning on getting the Xbox. I was worried because I was like, well, I'm just not gonna be able to play.
Just a nerd.
But now it's like everything is sorted out.
Yeah, they make it so hard for us dudes just to play games like online now. Like the Xbox 360 days were like heaven, like adding people, just pulling up whatever game,
and you could still do a split screen game, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And landlines weren't too difficult.
You gotta really jump some hoops to add people on platforms, and I guess the crossplay is getting us in that direction again, hopefully.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's good, you know, like this way you're not barring like, you know, the great divide of Xbox, PlayStation, and then the tertiary of, you know, computer nerds, and like finally bringing. Hold on,
there's a whole what? Hold on. You're not just gonna brush past that computer nerd comment. Don't forget, PC is the master race.
Oh, okay.
So let's go ahead and
good luck spending $2,000 so that your, you know, device can barely outperform a device made from 2014 that costs $300. Yeah.
For those who don't know this,
I have
PC console rivalry. It's like you have a lot more accuracy, and it gets real more technical when you're playing on a keyboard and mouse and stuff. And PC players often dog on people who play with a controller because they have an auto aim assist and stuff like that. And there's a whole war happening, a silent war that's happening between
a silent bloodbath.
It's not a silent war. Elijah and I will throw digs at each other. It's not silent.
So I celebrated my 3rd anniversary.
It feels like it should be like your 5th or 6th.
Really?
I'm surprised that it's your 3rd.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It happens.
What y'all do?
Fast for. Well, we've just been kind of chilling. Like last weekend, we hung out with family, and just kind of like treated it as early anniversary stuff. Hung out with Emily's dad and then Emily's mom and our stepdad Rocky. He took us out on the boat with the dolphins and stuff like that. Like I told you.
Oh yeah.
It was
dolphins are cool.
Super cool, man. Like, you know, it was like I think it's called a pontoon boat. I don't know if that's correct. It's got those two like
it's basically like a giant rectangle with seats on it.
Right. Yeah. And we were just hanging out on there. We went up to Snoopy's. He just drove us up to Snoopy's, and like we grabbed ice cream and fish, like fresh, awesome seafood. Yeah. And he even let me shout out to Rocky. He even let me drive the thing like towards the end, and it was like getting dark. So it was like pitch black by the time I started driving this thing like full time. I didn't crash. It was great.
It's good.
It was awesome. And I just had watched him a little bit, and he was just like, yeah, just do that. Look at this and follow the blue line. And I was just like, all right, cool. I was like, all right. Cool. So yeah, I did that. And then like the day of, I cooked pancakes in the morning and cooked pancakes at night too.
There you go.
Pancakes for breakfast and dinner.
Breakfast for dinner is the absolute way to go. Anytime, any day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I would argue replacing every meal with breakfast is the best way to go.
When I run for president 2024 with Kanye as the birthday party rep, that's gonna be my platform,
dude.
Definitely. No. So he's gonna be your vice.
Yeah. No, I'm taking over the birthday party. I'm gonna help campaign a little bit more. You know, so
yeah.
Technically, I am underage according to the Constitution, but you know, you don't need to follow it. So
right?
You have to be 35. Yeah.
Dude, and you know what? He could say,
yeah.
He could say all the crazy stuff, and as long as you seem level-headed, it'll work.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can go to the concert and do all that stuff, and I'll play fiddleman and be like, hey, let's talk about Syria, guys. Like get that beat going. Let's talk about the domestic threat of of coal mines.
Syria.
Syria. Yeah.
Syria.
There we go.
Joy.
Yeah. Like the flashing lights song, like those are warning lights that need to go off,
Heard.
If you walked out to that in your presidential campaign, like your first presidential rally, I would wholeheartedly vote for you.
It'd be such a meme that it would be like really awesome.
It reminds me of those memes of Bernie Sanders where he's like Bernie Sanders is releasing a mixtape and he's in like a fog machine or something.
Yeah.
And he's about to go out of the curtain and stuff, and he looks hype because all the fog and like all these lights are going off.
Oh man.
I was like, this is Bernie Sanders?
It's hype machines, dude.
He's a hype machine.
It's all about hype machines.
That's all it is. Yeah.
So we've been watching The Boys, and we watched it on the anniversary too. We were watching The Boys on Amazon. It's like a superhero show. It's 2 seasons, and it's like mature, it's like for mature audiences. Basically, it's raunchy.
It's an effed up version of your superheroes.
It really is.
Yeah.
Have y'all watched it?
I haven't watched it, but I know the premise of it.
It's actually totally worth it. Like it is
I heard
hilarious.
It's kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's like it is awesome. The acting is great. There are weird parts that make you feel like weird, but they're laughable. Like you can shake them off. Like there's ultra
that awkward laugh.
Yeah, kind of like awkward laugh. Like don't watch it with your parents or anything. But like it's a little mature, but it's fresh. It's like a fresh take on like all that stuff, and it's hilarious, and it's not like politically correct. It is hilarious. I love it.
Heard.
That's awesome.
I know of it, and I've seen like clips and stuff, but it has the guy from Ragnarok. The bald guy who's like, "Behold my stuff."
Behold my stuff.
He's the guy with the beard and like I guess like the main character who always says the C word to things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's the same guy, and I don't know why I just found this out. Mm-hmm. He played Aramir in Lord of the Rings.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He's a
I didn't know that. That guy is. I know. We have Chris.
You have to watch Lord of the Rings by this Christmas, man.
I will.
We're doing a live stream where we're just going to watch Lord of the Rings, and it'll get banned from all platforms, but we're going to do it.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, we can try it.
New Line Cinema will shut us down.
What if they join in? We just see them join in.
Oh my God! What if Peter Jackson joined in? Oh my God!
They're just
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson,
come watch this film with us.
I still need to watch his "They Shall Grow Old" or "They Shall Not Grow Old." I
know. I have it. I need to watch it too. I hear it's gut wrenching and amazing, and all this stuff. He's like a big like World War I buff, but he has like World War I airplanes.
Really?
That he like has restored or helped restored, and he like flies them and does like mock combat with other
like mock dogfights and stuff.
Yeah.
What in the world?
See, Chris, that's how I know that film, that trilogy is that good, because he has the money to do this now.
Chris, you need to watch.
You need to watch
The Hobbits, all the Lord of the Rings, and
I'll watch it.
You do too, viewers and listeners. Y'all need to watch the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbits if y'all haven't done that already, and you need to rewatch them also if you have already too.
I will rewatch them. I'm still trying to find the extended editions because the theatrical editions don't bother. Watch the extended editions.
Yeah, I saw one on Amazon. I saw the ultra extended, all the collection of the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings thing on Amazon, and it was like $300-$400, like all
worth
extended.
It.
I know,
worth it.
Jeez, I was like, oh, I want to get that from my dude, but I can't. I don't have $400.
Yeah. So, well, with today though, I have a premise for y'all.
Okay.
So, I know there's a lay back and chill sort of Saturday, but I have some questions for y'all.
Okay.
So I'm
chilling
thinking
there for a
about, nothing like heavy existential. Why do we exist? But like,
Good questions.
my thing is,
those are also quality questions. But yeah, continue with your actual question.
like, okay, let me see. So I have a list of questions pulled up about ourselves and society.
Why is pizza round in a square box, and why do we cut it into triangles?
Exactly. So
hashtag shower thoughts.
Exactly. So like, okay. So do you think you've ever drank milk from the same cow?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Like when you get a carton of milk?
Probably not. It's
do you
so
think
unlikely.
You've had it from the same cow ever?
So unlikely, dude.
I drink almond milk, so no.
Oh, that's so true.
Do you think you've had it from the same almond?
No. Yes. Because the thing is they like...
It's just almond flavored water.
Yeah, I wonder how much milk almonds can produce.
Show me the tit on an almond, Greg.
Well, no, what they do is they like actually like I think boil the almond or something with like I don't know how it goes. I saw it on TikTok. I would be honest.
I saw it on TikTok, so I'm an expert.
My For You page is just a bunch of like recipes now and then like MMA stuff. So it's just like either you're getting punched in the face or this is how you make almond milk.
Or yeah, or you make something good tonight.
Dude, okay, so I started on breaking the iFunny rule, but I signed up for iFunny to go into the collective of iFunny. It's an app where it has just everything. Oh my god, it's so. I don't recommend it if you're like sensitive in any way. Like if you're sensitive to being called names, if you're sensitive to blood, if you're sensitive to anything. Like, my god, I thought I was desensitized to things, and I'm on this collective. No.
Oh jeez.
No. Some of the things it has no filter. It's like 4chan.
It has no filter. That's to me that's the greatest thing and the worst thing about it. It has no filter.
Yeah, that could go really south.
It's great
at the same time.
Yeah, it's great because there's like no regulations. Like everything is perfectly fine.
Like you can just do what you want.
Freedom.
It's bad because you don't realize how dark people's head can go real quick.
Oh yeah, like in a snap.
Real quick.
And I feel like people who create these things are just waiting to like spill those thoughts on this stuff, like when something happens in the world, like there's all these memes that come out, and I can't imagine
and it's like 30 seconds after the event happens.
Like they were ready.
Like whenever Beyonce did like that Hulk move and she's all crazy, like within like 30 seconds I was showing Val like, look at this meme that they made about her. Oh my god, they pigmented her green. It's meme like creators, the internet will always win in like that sort of sense.
It's just a person that's just waiting, like a true content creator.
Just
waiting with all of this gold on their computer.
Wait, hold on. That's a great question, because then at what point, like how many memes or GIFs does it take for you to be considered a content creator? Because if I create one, I'm not a content creator. I just created that one. I created
like 5.
You know what I mean? Like if you're created, so does that make you a content creator? You know what I mean?
I have no idea, because I've only shown them to like 4 people.
So
like, do people consider themselves a content creator once they've only done it once?
Oh, probably.
Is it okay?
Like, I view us as content creators because we're making a podcast, we're putting it on platforms and stuff like that.
Right.
So, like, we're content creators.
Yeah.
Have we become the thing that we've vowed to destroy? Because we always bash content creators and stuff. We always bash TikTok.
So
no. We bash the manipulative content creators.
Yeah, like we like actually just trying to like talk to people and stuff.
That's true.
They're like, give me money and stuff. They're weird.
If you want to give us money, we'll set up a Patreon.
Also donate via Facebook. I'm just
also get Mountain Dew. I haven't given up on that dream.
That's why we're not asking for money. We're just asking for sponsorships. That's
exactly.
That's what we're asking.
To help produce the show, get it going.
Like, I know y'all don't like the ad. There's no ads on this video.
Yeah, and we're not trying to content block anybody. That's the worst thing. It's when they're like, yeah, go to my OnlyFans for $5. Alonzo, you make YouTube videos for a living. Why are you putting stuff on
Don't even get me started on the
OnlyFans?
OnlyFans nonsense.
Guys, here's the question though: is it worth to make a meme? Like, say you make like the meme of the century, right? Or I mean, you can't even make the meme of the century. The meme of the next 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And it's just so spot on with the moment. You had it saved on your desktop, and the thing happened in real life, and within 30 seconds, you uploaded it to the interwebs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth it? Like,
I think
was it
so.
worth it? Like,
I think so.
I mean, you have nobody that knows that you created it. It's just out there. You don't get any sort of money. You don't get any sort of recognition. Did you eat? Okay, here. The tree falls in the forest thing. Did anyone hear it? If you put a meme out there, does anyone know it's you? And does anyone see it?
I think the average person won't know who made it, but I think since you know that you made it, you have that sort of innate satisfaction of like,
just
I made that and now it's been copied and pasted across for the next, X amount of minutes of fame,
But you don't feel like you would be like, you stole my meme, like you're stealing my meme. You acting like you came up with, like you're posting it on people's pages and you found it first.
See, that would get into copyright.
Exactly,
but copyright's effed up everywhere you go.
Can you copyright memes?
I think you can. Yeah, I think you can.
I think you can copyright
because I'm pretty sure you can put it under like intellectual property or something.
Yeah. As long as you have proof that you were the one that created it and you're the one that published it, then you'll be good. But I think copyright can be tricky with the memes. That's because you don't necessarily. I don't think you can like backtrack.
You don't own the image of what you're using the meme for. So like if you're using like a SpongeBob image, and you post that online, like how does that not get flagged as copyright? Because you're using an image from Nickelodeon, and I'm pretty sure Nickelodeon's copyrighted everything about SpongeBob.
It's like
I'm pretty sure they went into the ocean and copyrighted Sea Sponge.
Yeah. Like, but you can't even, can you copyright if it's not, like, if you're not getting any sort of monetary gain from it?
I think
that's
if you're doing a critique or a criticism of it, you can use it,
Right.
Like the reason why it was like whenever we did the DC and we're showing it, like it was instantly like struck down as copyright.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because we were using, something like to pay for.
Like that was their images, and that would, and ultimately those are trailers for a product that they're gonna get money from.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah. But like a meme though, nobody gets money from memes, right?
There's a meme generator app that you could pay for.
Yeah, well, yes.
And I also think in some ways that might even fall under advertisement. Because if you have these like social media companies, for some reason, all social media companies, I'm not all, some will like just be considered like a social or like an advertisement agency or company or whatever.
Yeah,
like that could potentially be used for the company to, I guess, like move ahead or like gain more of a profit. Like what was it? The guys that worked with the Fire Festival before that became like a crapshoot.
Jerry.
There it is. They have a profile on Twitter, on Instagram that says F Jerry, and their whole mission is just to post memes. And it's part of this like marketing and advertising agency that was used for the Fire Festival. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like,
and I remember watching that.
Some of these like memes are. Go ahead.
And watching that documentary, the one from Hulu, I think, not the Netflix one, where the guy who originally made the post about Fire Festival was like, yeah, like we generate like 90% of the memes you've ever seen, because that's what they did as an advertising agency. They made those sort of things for products and companies and whatever, like Papa John's or Papa Murphy.
Yeah, so the boys kind of touches on this because there's a point in the show where one of the superheroes, so these superheroes are it's just like superheroes in our life. Obviously, superheroes aren't real, but they're all capitalized on. Like they're making movies, they're making shows, they're making like comic books, they're making all kinds of stuff. There are superhero like types of cereal that you can buy at HEB. You know, Superman's on the Kellogg's.
Iron Man has extra iron and vitamin A.
But this they put it into real life for the boys. So these are actual superheroes that go do stuff, but they have all of this commercialism. Like they have actual movies that they star in. They have all of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a point in the show where one of the superheroes kind of like an older school like type of mentality, and he's kind of losing touch with his base of people that you know his fan base and stuff like that. And so there's a kind of a newer superhero that comes around, and it's like, you know, I just put up memes and stuff like that, and that's how I touch base with all these people. Like they can be either negative or good, but you can sway people's outcomes through all these memes. And then Emily was just like, oh yeah, memes are like, I mean, it's just a new form of propaganda, like putting posters up all over the place, but like legit like memes is propaganda. And I thought, I was like, my mind was blown. I was just like, dude, it's like free propaganda. You just get to like post whatever you want, meme whatever you want, and you're like swaying people to think a certain way.
And that kind of goes into that whole like the what is it? Getting a negative review, or what is it with celebrities? Negative.
Yep.
No.
Rotten Tomatoes.
No, not like an actual thing that has like negative press is good press, or whatever the saying is.
All press is good press.
There it is. Yeah. So like with the meme, it's the same thing. Like regardless of it's posting something super negative towards a specific type of opinion or situation, it's still bringing light to that situation.
It is, yeah. Like so, I would argue,
and especially with the memes that like on iFunny, the stuff on iFunny will like bring something into perspective, and it'll be something that I don't even know about. I saw the meme, I saw it insulting something, but let me go figure out what this is about. So then I'll put it up on Google, what it's about, read about it more, and then form an opinion there. So it does kind of sway, but it also can help you educate dependent on the person it's being like relayed to.
Yeah, except if you make a meme about Nevada right now, then you're gonna get blocked on everything. So don't do that.
Yeah. So
wait, like, what? I didn't hear that.
Oh, if you make a meme about Nevada right now, like you're just gonna get blocked.
Yeah, I guess
so
they're blocking stuff now.
Yeah.
So yeah, in The Boys, they actually do that. They actually like there's, and that's the thing. Like there's one little thing that happens, not a big deal, right? Like nobody would take anything away from that, but there was a meme that was created from that, and it exacerbated like a certain situation, and it insinuated something that wasn't really occurring, right?
Yeah.
But it blew up, and it's totally like changing the conversation in regards to that. And I was just like, dang.
Yeah. I know at Northwestern, in their like media department, journalism or whatever, you can get a degree in memes, but it's like labeled as something. And I feel like what exactly it is, but it's like you make memes and analyze them. And they're, like you could argue that they're like the modern day form of like a really cynical political cartoon.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you could make it about Nevada or Biden or Trump, and how Trump's really orange and he likes Cheetos. And you can make it about
with the little Among Us. They've been doing the I suspect.
Oh wow!
And then you could like make a meme about your favorite pretzel. But yeah, like you could view them as like a modern day political cartoon.
Yeah.
Because
and to go off of that, Elijah and I actually had this discussion before about like the extremalities within like politics, but this kind of takes it there too, because you're posting a meme and all of a sudden it's posting like either taking jabs at an issue or something else, and this helps create extreme opinions in the public's eyes. So like you're either against what it's going at and you're either for going at it, but there's never any in between. It's always like these extreme sides, and now all of a sudden that one meme or that one GIF or whatever that is just pitted two groups of people against each other, and now you have, rather than us seeing the kind of the criticism that should be faced for that GIF, you have two sides blinded by their own opinion on something that like they're at each other's throats.
Yeah, it's like a really good example would be the Karen meme, like how like that's like has been perpetuated as a stereotype, and arguably rightly so. As someone who worked at a fast food restaurant, they know
how we feel about Karens. They've heard us mention it several times.
but if you go up to a stereotypical Karen and you show her like a Karen meme, they're gonna take it as offensive,
right?
When you're just telling a joke.
Yeah,
but you're also kind of like, well, Karen, maybe if you didn't yell at the Starbucks lady and throw your cup back at her, maybe she wouldn't have called you a bitch.
Very true.
You didn't throw a hot cup of coffee at her.
Memes are very black and white, and you're right. They can polarize. Like there's no gray in the meme. It either means one thing or the other. And yeah.
Like gone are like the days of like the Velociraptor or Bad Luck Brian or Overly Attached Girlfriend.
Dude, I actually saw a video of her. Like they've been finding the people that originally did memes and stuff, and like finding them in real life now, and be like, look what she's doing now. And she's just like a normal person living life. She's like has nothing going. Like she's just there, and like she makes the face like. It's so awkward. So now going into another question that I have. Oh,
okay. So this one will be deep. I will argue about this one. Okay. So is the meaning of life the same for humanity as it is for an animal?
Oh no.
Oh wow. I don't think so.
Like does a squirrel have a meaning to life in the same way that humanity does?
It's hard.
What do you think?
I would have to say, like, for certain animals, maybe, because there are really intelligent animals like the elephant, the dolphin, maybe
dogs,
even
cats,
apes, any kind of like monkeys, apes, orangutans.
Yeah, I was gonna say like closer to our relatives, like they're a little bit like higher intelligent, on an intelligence spectrum.
Pigs are rated smarter than dogs.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like dogs.
Well, yeah, because they know they know the exact time you're going to try to turn them into bacon, so they run. Of course, they're smart. They see it in our eyes that
I mean, like in terms of intelligence.
Okay, so like, I'd say like the animals that know that they're looking at themselves in the mirror, those probably understand like the meaning of life.
Yeah,
they know like that's them.
Like they have a sense of mortality.
Like like a sense of exactly, like a sense of being itself. Like dogs, some dogs don't even know that they're looking at themselves in the mirror.
Yeah,
like
some dogs are straight up stupid.
Archie
look at you, Odin.
Like
Archie has barked at himself in a mirror.
Exactly.
He scared himself.
Used to do that. Murphy used to like, oh, you're trying to play with me, like
Odin like, does that. Yeah. He gets like real pounce level.
Yeah. Oh, you look exactly like me. You're really cool.
I you know what? I think that there's differences based on species. I think dogs, have a slight understanding to like in a willingness and wanting to serve. Now, that motivation is because we feed them. I don't think it's because we provide companionship. But it's because we feed them. We give them food and we give them shelter. So, I think it just depends on species. Like dogs and cats have a different role, and I think that they know that role on a not like an intellectual level, maybe on like if you were like a toddler level. And I think like elephants do have a sense of mortality. Because the whole expression about like an elephant never forgets in an elephant graveyard, because on migratory paths, elephants will see other elephant bones and spend hours like touching them with their trunks, laying down next to them and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I think that they understand like a meaning of life, but It just depends on species. Like, I don't think like your average clownfish will have. I think they just have a sense of I'm in danger or I'm hungry.
Yeah, I think there's like a weird binary, like instinctual on and off switch thing that occurs. Just kind of like chilling, and then either you're chilling or like you're gonna go get something to eat, or or get the F out of there. Like
like they basically only live off of a fight or flight response.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
a need of sustainment.
Exactly.
So that's a good one. Okay,
I would argue that. I would argue that even in terms of like very basic like survival instincts, a wolf, because a wolf is always in that kind of they're not in a fight or flight. They are either going out to see. It's all about survivability with them. They are going out when they need food to get food. They're traveling in packs. Essentially, like I feel like are closer to understanding like what it is to live not the same life, but like live in that same mentality of surviving. Because like if you look at a human like in basic situations, our whole thing is how are we going to survive on a day-to-day basis. So that means how are we going to eat, drink water, like the very, very basics of it all. I'm not going into like the huge like mentality
existential crisis of life. Yeah,
that's one thing to be like a goldfish and like you're sustaining yourself by just hanging out and swimming like in place, but but then when you're talking about the wolf and like animals that do
and wolves are a curious case because they're highly sociable. So I mean, they live in packs, like they have a pack leader, they have
they're doing so many things to sustain themselves, so that's like another level of sustainability. They have so many different types of choices that they made in order to survive. So that's like another
exactly.
I get to your point. I agree with that.
And then a less serious one, actually kind of more serious. Okay, so if humanity's lifespan was greater than 120 years, how do you think like let's say it's like 500? Whoa. How do you think humanity would be different?
Hold on, before we answer that, are we aging like the same? Like is the aging rate slowing down now at which we age?
So it slows down. So say like it's proportionate here. Like our 20s,
how long am I in my prime? Is the question.
Well, if you live, I mean, you could probably be in your prime for a long time, maybe a couple hundred years. Like it'll take like 50 or so years to mature, like compared to us being, I think like 18 is like the typical level.
I don't think we could get married. I think that people would not want to get married if they knew that they'd have to be with somebody for 500 years. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's weird.
That's really a hard one. That is.
I think it would be interesting to see because then you would have so it's like you would have more like imagine if like the Duke of Wellington lived for another 200-300 years. Well, I guess another 400 years in this case. Like imagine his impact on like whenever he was Prime Minister of Great Britain. Like imagine if Alexander the Great lived to be past 32, like what he would have done,
To be honest, there might be some sort of like mandated population control, because if you're living that long, then there's like no sustainability for that. Like if you like that's increasing your population's consumption for hundreds more years than you expect them to be there, and it's like. They'd have to be like, all right, like nobody's having.
It'd be like a Logan's Run situation. Have you ever seen the movie?
Logan's Run.
Logan's Run. So, and the whole premise of Logan's Run is, like as she turned, like they all live in this big ginormous commune, and after you turn 35, you get taken away, but they call it something else. But you basically get killed because there's like a population limit. And the whole point of Logan's Run is like one guy like breaks free.
So that there's actually anime like that too called Promised Neverland, but it's different because they're kids
Yeah.
They're small toddlers, and they raise them till about they're like I want to say I don't really know the age, like 10 or 11 or something like that, and then they get adopted. They're in an orphanage, but then they get adopted. But that adoption is not an actual adoption; it's just feeding them to this alien, which is another part of the anime. But like it's kind of that same concept where after a while it's going to get overpopulated and everything's going to like I could see the like concentration type of camps like popping up if that were the case, because we'd be hitting like these population caps everywhere. And like look at if
population boom also didn't really happen until like super late 1800s, like halfway through the Industrial Revolution and stuff. Like population booms didn't really happen until like the last century.
Well, I mean, fair. But I guess I'm thinking of it like now more starting now and then going forward. And like if I'm looking at it from like a today point of view, then there's going to be some point where people will encourage like that kind of behavior to where we need to start kind of like, concentration camp style. Like I could see it ending terribly is what I'm saying.
So y'all both
like,
really
I don't
dark.
see it being very productive.
Yeah.
I was
like it won't be as
typically I'm the cynical one. I was like, dude, imagine we have Einstein for a couple hundred years. Like imagine what he would have done. Yeah. But no, we gotta kill him. All right. All right.
Oh, my bad. All right. Well, then I'm gonna go.
Just a little positivity.
I just, like when I think of that, I just think that people like think that we're living too long and we're taking up resources, and there's not a lot of room, and people would want to control that. That's my first.
That's kind of where I was like coming from. I wasn't saying let's just kill everybody. Please don't do that. No. That's not.
I just think people would want to do like some people would think all right, we need to control this.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Even then, like I could see it on like more of like a personal perspective too. Like I could see myself being like, I kind of just like I'm tired of like living,
Yeah.
For 500
yeah,
years?
like yeah, no, I've
that sounds super morbid. That sounds really
no.
bad.
I saw like talk about memes. I saw a meme like that, like about a person who was immortal. Or like, no, it was a phoenix. And the phoenix was like, I'm tired. I'm going to rest and I'm going to go to sleep. And then he dies, but then he comes back and he's like, just let me die. Like, I could see that sort of argument. So to bring it back into positivity.
Also, I've seen a lot of movies where I've seen a lot of movies where people are just immortal and they're just like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah. Like, I'm straight up not having a good time,
Yeah. Ask a positive question because I need the world to see that I'm not a negative person.
I have a positive question. Okay. So do you think there is a limit to human creativity? And I'll even throw in human knowledge as well.
Wait,
you don't think there's any sort of limit? Okay, so the first part is there a limit to human creativity? And on the flip side, is there a limit to human knowledge or intellectualism? I don't know.
Whoa.
So
hit it again.
Okay, so do you think that there's a limit to human creativity? And then on the flip side, do you think there's a limit to human knowledge?
I've seen Lucy, and they said that we only use 10% of our brain capacity.
I hate that movie. Scarlett Johansson and Morgan Freeman should have delivered a better, if you had those two together, that should have been like an Oscar-nominated film. It wasn't. It was bad. Don't go see it. Limitless is a better option.
Yeah.
Same premise, but Bradley Cooper fights.
I think there's some truth to that, though. I think we're so adaptable, and just over the course of history, seeing what we've been able to do.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. How we've progressed, and then also just in our lifetime how we've progressed, which is awesome. And then I do think there is only a certain amount of knowledge that we have achieved so far.
Yeah.
Or like the brain capacity type argument. And I think that we can't fully enable it, and we might not be able to for like a bajillion years. Do you know that? So we come from what, chimpanzees?
We come from apes. great chimpanzees.
So one so I guess going back one generation, so our ancestors, and compared to us, our brain activity and capacity is only like 0.01% more than like apes or whatever, where we come from. Like one generational, evolutionary gap right there is only like 0.01%. Which is mind-boggling because we do way more than they do, but it's only 0.01% more than the capacity they have.
Yeah. So I think human creativity stopped whenever I forgot his name. He like signed a urinal and he put it upside down and he called it art. And that was like that's like super close around World War One. I think it was like post World War One.
Right.
Like whenever we're getting into like the surreal sort of movement of art. And
weird stuff.
So I think like in terms of like art, I think we've definitely like went way past that limit. Like but in other terms like music and like that sort of thing, like I think we've just gotten started. Like I think there is a finite limit of like notes that you can put together, and like I mean like we're like nowhere close to it, but like I think that's where like the next sort of creativity is going to be, and like media, like movies, stuff like that, like I think those will always happen, but I think like in terms of like just genuine art, I think we're definitely past. I mean, after World War II, they kind of just let anyone into art school, because
because everybody's
so I do think
I think the two kind of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And in terms of an intellectual capacity, I think that there is a limit to the human mind. But I think by the time we reach that, we'll have already invented things like we already get a working quantum computer that could be infinite. So I think in terms of AI development and help, our knowledge will be infinite. But of course, that's like generations down the line.
It's like how much knowledge is too much knowledge, though. Like if you
whenever you concept the grasp of the vast and emptiness of our existential nature.
So, but I think that's an interesting like parallel to your question of creativity and knowledge. It's like is how much knowledge is too much knowledge that you could just create what you see around you,
there's not really a type of, there's not really like a limit on how much. It's always just like you gain more knowledge throughout your life. You don't ever stop learning new things, or not necessarily learning new things. You never stop picking up things that are more knowledgeable for you.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like knowledge and creation parallels in the Bible and stuff when it comes to like Adam and Eve and them being created and them eating from the apple of the knowledge of good and evil. Like that. And so when they do that, they know they would ultimately know what God knows, So it's like how much knowledge is too much. Not like I would say too much knowledge would be like what God knows, like what the Creator knows.
Omnipotence is the
like
term.
you'd be able to know how to create a universe or a galaxy or something. Like that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's like super deep, but
it's interesting. That was super
I know,
deep.
Oh, so I right before I took off, I heard Chris say that like if you're living like 500 years that you might not even want to live that long.
Yeah.
And dude, no, there's people that do that now. There's people that advocate for like often people when they're like 60.
Euthanasia.
Yeah. They're like often like 60 to 80 is just all downhill from there. You're gonna poop your
like
pants.
I pretty much already told Val, like if I'm a vegetable, just pull the plug. Like
So to go off of that, and this is a little bit more of like a serious question again. Elijah, you listened to Flagrant 2. These guys had talked about it previously. Is let's say a friend of yours had told you that like no matter what, if I like lose my memory or something like that, or if I like lose a limb, like at that point, just euthanize me. You can remove any life support or anything like that from me. Yeah. But then when time comes to actually doing it, they say no. They say, I want to live. Like, I want to continue living life.
Yeah.
At that point, you're either obligated to make that decision for them since they already asked you to, or you listen to what their decision is now. Like, is this kind of like weird, like, what would you do situation?
Yeah. I think I would listen to them, and I wouldn't do it if they had the mental capacity to say, hey, I want to live. So I wouldn't do it. If say like they were like in a coma or something, like they can't say that they want to live. Like I would still presumptuously. That's a word, right?
Yeah, I think
I would presumably. There we go.
Yes.
SAT word of the day. I would presumably just go with their initial intention and wish, and just, but like way before me and Val got married, like we sat down and had a plan. Like, if we're both vegetables, we're killing each other. Like,
what?
Yeah.
Y'all thought about that already?
Yeah. You got to think about these things.
No, it's true. I mean, it's like 1 month into your marriage, y'all are ready.
Yeah, we're ready. We're already ready for
death. Yeah, y'all legit just got married.
We're good. I'm good.
You just happened.
That is something.
Yeah, they're already thinking about just
being unemployed. You have all of this time to think.
Yeah, that's true. That's a tough one, dude. That is a tough one.
Yeah, and
that whole ethical dilemma with keeping somebody on life support type of thing. That is rough for me. And
especially since like most insurances and stuff, I mean, don't even cover it. So you're wasting thousands of dollars, an hour. So
that's true. Exactly.
Oh my God.
But people wake up like years later,
and imagine that crippling debt of a hospital bill. I'd rather be dead.
Oh my God.
See, there you go.
I'm already on a crippling debt in college. I'm not trying to do crippling hospital debt.
Yeah.
Bye. Thanks. Come again.
That's true. That is a hurdle. That is a big hurdle to overcome.
Okay, so another sort of positive aspect question. What technological innovation has had the most impact on humanity? And technology is things like machines, so like, stuff that aids you in everyday life, or like, the invention of fire. So what do you think has had the most impact? What is the definition of technology? Like, what does technology mean, first off?
Yeah. I mean, if I'm putting a car in there,
I was going to say car. Yeah, I was going to say car.
Yeah. I mean, we can go anywhere.
Well, a car has helped cities and urban spaces expand, because most of the time people lived within a walking distance of everything. And so you had all of these little villages and stuff, and everyone lived within walking distance of their destinations. So with the advent of the car, you saw metropolises expand and expand and expand, because now I can drive, like with Austin, I can drive 20 something miles through Austin to get to work, in 15 minutes. So it helped breed the innovation of the city and metropolis as we know it. So that's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
Pretty big one.
You can go get food. You can go visit your family.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere you want. Have fun.
I would take it even further, or like not further, but I would make it a little bit more broad. Is that just any kind of transportation? Because cars kind of help you locally, but like boats and aircrafts or anything like that will help you more globally, just because of the fact that now we're going out and retrieving these resources, or we're having them shipping in, and that's creating that whole trade system between societies. I'm thinking like the game Civilization, like Civilization style. Like now we're like trading and things like that, and going to get our own resources, or like like just transportation as a whole has been, I think, a huge thing for us, because now it's so easy to. Can you imagine if you were moving from Austin to Louisiana and no transportation? You had to pick everything up one by one.
Yeah,
or as much as you could carry for it.
You had to Oregon Trail everything.
Yeah,
because then you'd just be limited to the resources that you need. So like a pair of clothes and some food and water. you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like Corpus to like Corpus Christi, Texas to San Antonio was, I think, before the car, like a 2-day journey on horseback.
What?
Maybe 3. Yeah,
How do you
because
know
120
that?
miles. I mean, like if you really pushed somebody, they could walk at 60 kilometers a day. But that's if like you're Napoleon and you're marching, you know, like you're pushing your men to get somewhere.
Yeah.
So like that's sort of like the absolute limit. So it's like, you know, like even between Austin and San Antonio, it's a day trip, you know. So
yeah, and it's air conditioned, and it's like you listen to stuff, you know.
Yeah, you listen to our
Easy.
podcast, you know.
You can listen to the podcast. You can sit in a comfy chair.
Yeah, I don't know what I would pick. I don't know what I would pick because, like, I would argue that stuff, like the written word, like literature itself, is our biggest achievement.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because the oldest like document we have in existence is a clay tablet from Samaria, and it documents a transaction between 2 parties. I forgot like what exactly it was, but it was like, give me beer for labor or something like that. And so like that's like the oldest written, like the oldest written thing we have is a receipt, and it's like a CVS receipt, you know.
Yeah.
So I would argue that. I would even argue, I mean, of course, the internet.
That's
something like
just
the light bulb. Yeah,
I was gonna
like
say,
electricity or like a light bulb or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I would pick. I don't know what I would pick.
The camera is pretty cool.
Camera is really cool.
Yeah.
Like being able to capture life, and then after that, it was like, hey, let's capture fake stuff like entertainment and or people playing football or you know,
like let's capture a story or two.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Cameras are like there's so many. It's hard.
Yeah. It's
you know
crazy.
what's funny about what you just said, Daniel, about the beer for labor thing is that we really added money as a middleman. Like we could have easily just been like, dude, just give me like a 6-pack and I'll help.
Well, trade and barter system. Yeah, before the concept of money was created. Yeah, everything was trade and barter. Like it's basically like, I'm a farmer, so I'm going to give you grain, and then you make cabins and stuff, so I'll give you grain for this cabin. Or like you make clothes, like you're like, I'm a hunter, I caught all these otters and I'm making them into fur, and then I give them to you, you make them into clothes in exchange, you know.
For sure.
Yeah, money's a really interesting concept.
Yeah. That's
true.
Let's see.
Do y'all know that Sean Connery died?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
He died before Betty White.
I know, dude. Betty White.
It's sad. It's the first thing I thought about with Betty White not dying yet.
Yeah. She's hanging in there.
Did y'all see that interview he did once?
Which one?
Sean Connery?
He's done a lot of interviews.
Yeah.
He's like
about
90.
He was 90.
I forgot what it was called. It was the one he did with about like hitting a woman.
What?
I think I've heard it, but I don't remember.
Okay, so when Sean Connery, when he died, like this interview was just being passed around now, and I don't want to disrespect him. He was great in James Bond. I don't want to like disrespect or anything like that, but there was an interview where they tried to use like gotcha journalism to get him in an interview about it, and he was very adamant about it. I definitely recommend taking a look at it. It was interesting.
Oh, that's rough when they drop that bombshell when he dies, though. Drop him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, alive. Drop him.
Yeah, dude.
He can respond.
If he did it and he said it, like do it when don't like come at someone who's already passed.
Right. Exactly.
I don't know. Did the woman hit him first? What's the scenario?
I don't know. I don't know.
That,
it was just like
did a woman stab him?
Just random interview.
Have y'all even seen, like, speaking of that, like, exact situation, you heard about the Johnny Depp and the Amber Heard stuff?
It's the absolute most bullshit thing on the planet.
It's so weird, man. Like,
no, it's not even weird. It's wrong.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I haven't looked much
because Johnny Depp was proved to be innocent. Like, he didn't do anything.
Oh, yeah.
Amber Heard was the one who was abusing him and, like, hitting him and, like, like
Yeah,
causing him to bleed, like breaking his fingers and stuff. And he didn't do anything.
I've heard.
And all it was Amber Heard just said, "Well, he hit me," and it was proven to be wrong. And now in a libel suit, he lost, and now Amber Heard is staying on with Justice League, and still making money and stuff. But she's clearly an abusive domestic violence person, and Johnny Depp just did nothing, and now he's fired. From everything.
For the Harry Potter fans out there, he's not going to be in the next Fantastic Beasts movies anymore.
No, he's never going to have another job again, just because of this stupid accusation.
Well, no, I think actually, sorry. Good news about this is I think they're actually in talks with getting him his roles back, just because he's been proved wrong. Yeah. So Johnny Depp, I think, is going to come out of this a little bit better. But Amber Heard, I heard, actually got cut from Aquaman 2.
I heard the exact opposite. I've read the exact opposite from Vanity and a couple other places.
Because with their hearings and stuff, they were trying to get the hearings to be postponed to a certain point so that Amber Heard can finish her projects, Johnny Depp can finish his projects, and then they could do whatever they wanted. But I guess things moved forward recently, and I saw that Johnny Depp wasn't in the running for the Fantastic Beasts movies anymore.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about Amber Heard. It's so back and forth, and I don't know what to. It's just a mess. That thing is a mess, dude.
This is actually exactly why media, the just regular media sucks.
Yeah,
because just right then and there, two people heard two different stories.
Yeah,
because they can't communicate what the actual truth is. And
I heard because he lost his. The main thing was a label, so like defamation. And it was him saying that he's not an abusive person, and he didn't hit her. Right. And for some reason he lost the case.
Right.
And so Amber Heard can continue to call him these things, even though in a court of law where they decided this domestic violence, it was against her.
Right.
And if you hear the tapes and stuff that you can go just on YouTube and watch and stuff. It's her doing all this stuff and breaking his fingers, and he's chill out and stop. Yeah. He was an alcoholic, but he wasn't abusive.
Yeah, nobody's saying either of these people are perfect or anything, but the things that I've seen personally, the little weird Amber Heard lashing out stuff, I'm she's the one that's saying that she's abused. She's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing what you can just say to somebody and then just their entire, not just reputations or career, but their entire life's ruined.
Right.
I'll be surprised if Johnny Depp ever does come back.
He's I think the statement I read from him is real. He's still hopeful. He doesn't want this to stain his his legacy or he doesn't want to be defined by this stuff.
He's going to be though.
I mean, I hope not.
You can say that all you want.
Yeah, I know he can say it, but I mean, who knows?
The court of public opinion, which is the worst court to have. Yeah,
right. Because Johnny Depp is one of my favorite actors too. I hope this is all. I hope it blows over.
A lot of people have come to his defense though. Throughout
that's what I'm saying.
Case, even after, I don't think anybody's gonna see. I don't see him in a terrible light at all. I've listened to some of the recordings, and I don't see him any different than what I did before. A great actor
compared to someone like Antonio Brown, who is a lot more verbally abusive, and it's Antonio Brown is I think he's cast in a bad light, but he has a job,
Yeah.
Whereas this guy who has proved his defense, not gonna have a job.
Yeah, there's a rumor that he is in the running for a position on the Flash movie as Eobard Thawne, which is the Reverse Flash.
Okay.
Which would be kind of cool, but it's super.
I don't think he would get buff enough to do that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's super rumored, but I don't know. Johnny Depp is huge, and I'd hope that these people would see that.
Does he have an Oscar?
BS.
I think he's one of those people that doesn't have an Oscar.
Probably not. I'll look it up right now.
I don't think he has one, which is sad.
Probably not. He does. But he's in a bunch of my childhood favorite movies, Edward Scissorhands. Emily loves the Sweeney Todd movie. He's a legend already.
Dude, I love Sweeney Todd.
I mean, come on.
Let's see.
Although I don't talk about
he hung out with me when I was in Kingdom Hearts. You can play with
Exactly,
Johnny Depp
bro.
is in Kingdom Hearts, like his voice and everything. Like, come on.
Yeah, it wasn't actually his voice, but it was it was a good impersonation. I looked it up. I was like, this. He sounds like it, but it sounds off.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and it wasn't actually him. They only got a few actors to come and.
So apparently Disney for Toy Story 4, which I will not see, but the guy who played Mr. Potato Head died before they could make the film. But Disney didn't want to recast him. And so Pixar looked at every piece of media they've ever had with him talking and spliced his lines together. How crazy is that?
That is, yeah.
Like,
That's
good on
expert.
you, Pixar.
Expert editing, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they
so
went back to like the first Toy Story, all these media like interviews and like video games and stuff that where he's casted his voice.
Yeah.
And they took all of his voice work and just edited it into the film because they didn't want to recast him. And I thought that was really cute.
That's one way to say
probably the only positive thing to happen out of Toy Story 4, probably.
Yeah, so yeah, he hasn't won. Johnny Depp has not won any
Academy
Awards or Oscar. He's been nominated 3 times, I think, but
only 3 times.
Yeah, and that's like not within the latest decade. So,
jeez.
Yeah, that was Sweeney Todd in 2008, Finding Neverland 2005, Pirates of the Caribbean 2004.
Finding Neverland was another good one.
Finding Neverland? Which one's that one? There's like so many. Emily has all of
There's
the
so many
Pan
Peter
stuff,
Pan
too.
movies.
And I don't know
track.
any
Like there's
of them,
Captain
dude.
Hook with Robin Williams, right?
Look,
And then
I
there's
like
like
that one. I know that one.
There's like the animated one from Disney with Tinkerbell. And then there's like
Finding Neverland. Yeah, that one's with Rose from the Titanic.
Oh my god.
Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet.
What the heck?
What has she done lately?
Probably stuff.
Not Save Leo.
Oh,
More than enough room.
get wrecked.
More than enough room on that boat.
It was
Or on
big
that
enough,
little
right?
couple
Oh, see, that's the
whatever.
question we need to ask. That door or that piece of wood was big enough for Jack, right?
I heard a scenario. I was listening to this sports radio program, and they were like, "There's room for 2 of them on there, but why not just switch it off? Like, have him stay on top for an hour, she swims, and then switch off." And I'm like, "You're gonna be dead in 15 minutes in that water." Like,
Right.
the switch off,
Yeah.
although a good idea, not gonna work.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Just both get out of the water. Like they did the Mythbusters on it and everything.
And it's not like there wasn't other debris around.
That's so true.
You know?
Evidently, she's filming for Avatar 2.
Oh, cool. You know, that's one of those things. Like, I always heard a rumor of Avatar 2 happening, like since the first one, and I never believed it. But
it's
then,
happening.
like, James
I think-
Cameron actually came out and said, like, yeah, like we were filming, like it's a real thing. And I was like, oh,
Yeah, and
I guess I
think-
should have believed you.
Yeah, and I think immediately after they film the second one or finish filming, they're gonna start production on the third one. Like they're gonna,
Oh my God.
they're going in. They're like going ham on it. I think there's gonna be 5 of them or something.
Why?
You know how they do, man? Like there's gonna be 5.
I know they
Fantastic
ride that
Beasts.
franchise until it's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told Emily yesterday. I was like, "Well, Johnny Depp's out, and he was in 2 movies, and I think they're gonna make 5 total." And she's like,
I thought there's only 3 mystical beasts or whatever.
No,
I thought there was gonna be 3.
I think they're trying to film 5.
Jeez.
I think they're trying to film 5. Yeah, because it's like it's Harry Potter. It's one of their most profitable. That's just what they do, man. They gotta.
I know. I
mean,
respect franchises. Just let them be. Who's in charge of a franchise?
But do you,
Like,
okay, so this is the guy
how do I
who,
become the director of the Halo franchise?
Ooh,
How do I do that? Is that a position? Who's in charge of these things?
people are dropping from Halo. You see that recently?
Yeah,
Like the head, I think it's like one of the head directors of
one of the head developers. of the
developer.
game.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he dropped off. I think amidst all this delays and stuff, and you hate to see that.
I mean, yeah, and it got some unnecessary backlash too. They're like, "Well, Master Chief can have a grapple hook." Yes, he can.
People, yeah, and that's just trollery. That's just the people
You're talking about
that meme,
humanity, 500 plus years in the future.
dude.
Is it? It's 2552. Yeah,
like,
500.
Like who cares? Just don't use the grapple hook. It's like
Yeah.
just
I'm like, it's like, did Master Chief really have this stupid bubble shield? Because that wasn't in the first Halo. Is that canon? Now this is in Halo 3.
yeah.
Is that canon? That's like the question for everybody.
I know. Like who directs franchises? Like, who's in charge of the Alien franchise? Is it? It's
Ridley
not. It's
Scott.
not what's his name who made the first film. Like, he's not in charge of it.
Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think he's still doing the. I think
I think he's directing like one more Prometheus type movie, which he needs to stop because those movies were
did
terrible.
he not come back and do Prometheus and
did.
Alien Covenant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were horrible.
I think he's doing one more. It's like it's laying the foundation for the lore, you know.
Yeah,
there's so much lore with these things.
It's like who like what's the difference between fan fiction and lore? Like, fan fiction is I'm just writing something, right? But like, who's in charge of these like, I want to become a director of a franchise. Mm-hmm. Like, Chris, how would you like to be the director of the Naruto franchise?
That'd be dope. I'd make myself just the whole time. I would just make it revolve around my life.
So that's the thing. That's the difference between lore and fan fiction is that there's so much lore that you get fan fiction, like that people understand the world so much that they can write their own crap.
But like okay,
yeah,
so like
if there's
Star
no
Wars,
lore, then the structure is not there. Like if it was just a straight shot of what the story is, then you wouldn't really have that kind of creative aspect of it to where people can create their own stories and situations. While with the lore, like I can look at Naruto and see these different villages and think about how my life would play out and create my own fan fiction.
Yeah.
So if you're so let's take Star Wars for example, because Star Wars was just a one-off film, okay, and then it became a huge thing. And then George Lucas made 2 more movies, right? Mm-hmm. And then between 83, I think is the third one, or 86, all the way up until 2000 or 2000 or 1999 or 2000 when the prequels came out. Like, there's like a bunch of books and stuff. Like, George Lucas wasn't writing any of that stuff. Like how does like, what control does he have over the lore? Like, what makes something, part of, like, I don't know. Like, I want to be in charge of a franchise, and how do I get that position? Like 343 Industry, which is the people who make Halo. Like, is there some like head designer guy, girl, them?
I feel like that's what it is. I feel like it's the director's choice. Like for Star Wars, it's the director's choice to create the story, while they have other people around it trying to fill in the gaps of the lore within the story.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm seeing here is like there's like an underlying script that was probably written for Star Wars.
Yeah.
And after all this stuff happened, they had people work, and of course they probably have it like presented to them like, here, I went with the lore, we did this and that, like based on the early scripts and all of the things you've established.
Yeah.
And then he could be like, oh, I don't know,
like,
he wouldn't do that, or he would, or he wouldn't, I don't know.
Like, and to pick on Star Wars because that's the most familiar franchise that I am knowledgeable of outside of Halo. Yeah. So Kathleen Kennedy was like George Lucas, like executive producer for like a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And, she came out saying like, cause everyone's criticizing the sequels and rightfully so.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, there's nothing to back us up. And yet she was with George Lucas supervising all of these extra story arcs and books and novels and comics and games, like the KOTOR games and stuff like that. And like why did she end up in charge of that franchise? Why wasn't it someone cool like me?
I know. Yeah, that's true.
Or my dad.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
so I just,
when you care so much about it, then it's cool. But when, I'm sure there are other motivations, like how much money we're going to be making off of this thing. She's got to see like the big picture.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, and Disney told her basically what to do. Like the Disney heads were like, "Hey, here's $1 billion to make this tree like sequels and all that stuff," and then she went out and made some poor choices. But
I guess
like,
that's just what makes it way
I don't
more
know.
beautiful when you actually get somebody who's like a fan and they
Yeah.
like create the fan experience, and you're like, oh my gosh, yes,
Yeah.
you've done it. You followed the lore, you followed the limitations of that universe, and
like
it's beautiful.
Wasn't 50 Shades of Grey like a fanfic of something, and then it became something? Am I wrong?
It was a book.
It was a book, yeah. I
yeah.
can't remember. There was
I
like
just
some
know it was
sort
a
of
book
fanfiction
because
of like Twilight,
I mean,
and then like it became.
I feel like at that point,
thing.
I feel like if it's fan fiction of 50 Shades of Grey, at that point it's just porn. I mean,
yeah, you're right.
Exactly. I mean, that's why everyone went to see it, right?
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Well, okay, so a good example is that Pokemon movie, the Detective Pikachu.
Yeah,
that's a fan fiction. That's based off.
That's
of
okay. Yeah. That's okay. I guess that's that's not 50 Shades at all. Okay. Yeah. So like that, like that's a fan fiction, and it became something.
So that's
right?
a lore that's been established for our whole lifetime. I mean,
yeah,
that's Pokemon.
Yeah, and it's a solid lore. Like I don't know too much about. Like apparently there's like a huge backstory. Like I really just played the card game, but there's like a huge like the Pokemon lore, like all this ancient Pokemon and all this crap. But like okay, so whoever was at the Pokemon company, like saw the Detective Pikachu, like, dude, good story. Let's go. Let's get Ryan Reynolds. Let's do this.
Yeah, get Ryan Reynolds on the phone right now.
And I know it's immediately what they said too, like 100%. And so, like because like the Pokemon company handles everything, you know, like but there was no like Star Wars company, you know, like there was no Halo company, like that was all Microsoft. And then they created a subdivision called 343.
Yeah, so before 343 they were. What were they before that?
I cannot remember the publisher of the game. I'm pretty sure it was just Microsoft.
Oh, it starts with an M. Machinima? No,
Machinima is just a YouTube channel. And it's also a genre of media.
Right. I'm confused on there was like the legit production company for Halo.
Like for Kingdom Hearts is just the guy who writes and like is in charge of does he have say over the franchise?
Bungie
did it, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you mean
So who's the director of Kingdom Hearts, Chris? Do you know off the top of your head?
No, I have no idea who it is.
I know there's one guy and he wrote them all.
Oh yeah.
And so like is he in charge of the franchise or is it like whoever owns Kingdom Hearts? Like there's no Kingdom Hearts company. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing. Like, what's an oversight for a franchise?
It's the publisher,
like,
wouldn't it be?
It's published by Square Enix.
Okay.
So Square Enix is
and it has Disney intellectual property, but like Disney doesn't state this is lore. They give it to that. They give it to the probably Square Enix.
They can create lore.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
I
think that there is a guy that thinks up all this crap.
Yeah. There's a guy who's written all this stuff, and I would say he's done a good job, but I'm really confused on everything. But so, like, if I were to write Kingdom Hearts script, and I don't work for that guy, it's not lore, right?
Correct.
But if I was working for that guy and I just wrote something, does that make it lore?
Yeah. If y'all publish it.
Yes.
If y'all
published it. Okay. So that guy would have say of what's the franchise and stuff. So my thing is, so like Marvel has a bunch of storyboard guys, like the big head guy. I think until recently it was Michael Brian Mendez or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I really overhyped. Not that good.
Just trash him real quick. Okay, go on.
Oh yeah, no, I absolutely will. but I'll give him credit too at the same time because like he handled the storyboards for like most Marvel characters.
Yeah,
and he wrote the reboot of Iron Man. I think he's writing the reboot of Batman right now. I think.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So, goodbye, Batman.
Laters. Yeah, comics are at a weird state right now.
Yeah. So like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and stuff. Like in the very beginning, like they were in charge of the Marvel franchise.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So like what? Like who's in charge of the Marvel franchise? Disney. So Disney makes all of these decisions about like what's canon and lore and like what's a fanfic.
It's all hierarchy, yeah. Like I imagine the Kingdom Hearts guy has people on his team.
Yeah.
And ultimately, him and Square Enix and the people he like that he talks to or he has to present to. Yeah, he works for. He's like, all right, like this is our idea. What do you think? And they'll be like,
I guess I gotta figure out.
Yeah, or it might be going. It might go the other way. Like the people that like over like the ultimate like board of people. I'll say, like they say, hey, this is the direction we want to go, and then at that point, the person who writes all of Kingdom Hearts will go, okay, I'll go in that direction. But how I get from point A to point B is going to be how I want it to be. And it could be something similar to that, where it's just like they have so much creative freedom to, I guess, create lore and everything. And I guess at that point,
like George Lucas doesn't see any more of the Star Wars lore or canon anymore. Like they brought him for the third movie to like oversee, and he like basically tore to shreds.
Yeah.
But like Kathleen Kennedy's like still in charge of everything that's Star Wars lore and.
Yeah.
I get okay. So like if you had the option to be in charge of a franchise and it could be your favorite franchise or the worst franchise, whatever you want, would y'all do it?
No.
Why not?
I totally would. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Totally would. Like say like Daniel, like DC came to you and Warner Media came to you and said, hey, go write Batman or be in charge of all the Batman stuff.
That'd be dope.
You take it?
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
It would be a lot of pressure, obviously. Like,
it would be a lot of pressure.
There are people.
That comics are dying.
These like
storyboards are dying. Yeah,
they haven't established.
Sorry.
No, I mean, yeah, you're right.
But it's true. Like, I'm not. Why are you booing me? I'm right. You know.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. It's struggling, and they're revamping all that stuff right now. They're revamping all the comics. They've taken out a lot of characters and just gone with the OGs for a little bit. Speaking of like Marvel though, like Kevin Feige, he's the head of the whole
cinematic universe. Like that's like his department.
Yeah, and I'm sure he like has like a timeline, right? And he's just like, you know what, we're gonna start with Captain America, first soldier, whatever, first Avenger, and then we're just gonna, and then Thanos over here, and then. Y'all do what y'all need to do to make that happen over the course of time, and we'll talk about it. And then, okay, you get to do that movie, you get to do this one, and you get to do that one, and then like come back to me with your ideas and how you're working it, right? And then ultimately, he's like, he has to present that to Disney or to Marvel or to whoever, and they'll be like, yeah, that's cool, that's really cool. You've made us billions of dollars. Keep doing what you're doing. Like, so like there's that, but like with the Star Wars thing, I think she was probably getting a lot of interference from Disney, being like, no, like we want it to be like this. Yeah, and he was like, oh well, you know,
like I don't think it's all on Kathleen Kennedy.
And there's a director,
I think like J.J. Abrams had, hey, let's just remake A New Hope, basically, and and then like start off with a really good premise and Finn, and like have a really cool redemption, but completely trash it. With Brian Johnson, and then bringing back like there was no cohesion or anything.
It was it was capitalizing on nostalgia.
Yeah, and like, so
in that case, it's like it's numerous people that it would have benefited us better if the directors were like hardcore fans that understood the lore, didn't care about a money grab, and then also the director of everything was hardcore, like she was in the hardcore lore, like you were saying, but she didn't do enough to ensure that it was spread across the timeline. Yeah,
and so Chris, why would you not want to take over a franchise?
It's more so because I'd be worried about making the concept just all about like me, as I was saying. Like I would just put it. I don't think I would be able to put it past myself to create lore for like other characters. I'd be so dependent on just creating a storyline for me, very like linear, and then at that point an ending. I guess that goes into like my creativity a little bit. Is I wouldn't be as creative with it. I trust that with whoever's doing like the lore and stuff like that will create like background for each individual characters, but I kind of go into that whole like, okay, that person will do their own, that will do their own, and then we'll all come together. Yeah. But like for me, it's just like I'll create a story for myself. When it ends, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris is done with the extended universe crap. He's just like, I just want 1 hour movies. I don't want to be I want a year.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend a small salary at the movie theater, guys. Come on.
that is true though, because so like Naruto movies and like Bleach, the whole Bleach universe, like they like their overarching publisher, Shonen Jump, like makes them do these stupid movies. And they have to do these, and you could tell like I think like there are 2 of the 4 Bleach movies, 2 are okay and 1's good, and the other 2 are just garbage. Yeah. And so I think I guess just like maintaining a franchise would be difficult, you know.
Yeah,
it's super difficult.
But I think I would.
I think seeing a lot of these places like clean house and start over, and they're not, and also they're doing that, you know, because of COVID and stuff too. But ultimately, that's going to be better for the content because, I mean, in my opinion, I'm not as hyped for anything Marvel right now. I'm not like looking forward to a Marvel movie like Black Widow.
Yeah, because they're busy designing characters like Snowflake and Safe Space. Real characters.
Very true. Very
real
true.
characters.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
They're real characters. They're called Snowflake and Safe Space. Yeah. Snowflake like has a power to like create like Shuriken, like ice Shuriken. And in Safe Space, like, can create a force field over someone else while he's protecting them. These are real characters.
But he's not protecting himself. So what happens when he gets beat up?
He can't protect himself. He gets beat up.
He can't protect himself. So then he's holding this force field for another person, and then he gets beat up. And then when he like dies, that force field just vanishes.
I have no idea. It's called the New Warriors. It's a reboot of the New Warriors, and.
I'm not looking forward to any of that. I'm not even looking forward to Black Widow either. I think they should. I mean, obviously we talked about this. I thought they should have done Black Widow beforehand because he's dead now. And the thing, you know, it doesn't make sense to us now. So it's like there aren't the lineup. If you look at it now, I'm like, you know, like, there's not really anything there. But for DC, you know, the comics is iffy and stuff. But they've started a new Batman that looks sick. They've done they're bringing back Zack Snyder for the Justice League, and that looks sick. And it's just like that's a guy who understands lore. That's a dude who's gonna make probably like the best Justice League movie, and that's more hype than like anything that's out there right now.
Yeah, no, I think so. Like I'm excited about the Patterson Batman movie. Like once I was able to see the trailer, because I was on that gravy train of like I don't know if it'll be good or not. Yeah. Now I see the trailer, I'm okay with it. I'm absolutely intrigued. But yeah, with Marvel, like I think they should have done a Black Widow movie way beforehand, and I think it would have been successful. Like it would have done like almost the equivalent of a Wonder Woman. I think, you know, and of course I haven't seen the movie, but I think having a Black Widow movie out there, would have done a lot. I
think it's just ended because of Endgame. Like it's just.
Yeah, like there's no over. Hype. Like we like I think like to finish Endgame, like we watched the latest Spider-Man movie, and it was really good.
I'm eager to see where the Spider-Man goes, but I know that's going to be a while. I like where it ended with the Spider-Man. Like I'm optimistic for Spider-Man itself, but I'm always just like Spider-Man. Over,
I'm curious of the there's like the Doctor Strange movie that's supposed to come out. So I'm curious about that one. Of course, what Black Widow if it ever gets released. And I think they're building up to a new plot line, you know. Yeah. But
see that like there's a few that I'm interested in, but
but it's not like every single one, you know.
Yeah, but like I don't know where that goes. That there's no like end game thing for me there. There's not that like Thanos spilled up yet, and it's just kind of like dang, like there's nothing really building up. But like with Justice League, I'm like, dang, like all right, we know Darkseid's gonna be there. Does that mean we're gonna get a Ben Affleck Batman movie? We're gonna get a Flash movie. We're gonna get is there Green Lantern stuff in there? Like it's like the possibilities are there now. So I'm more optimistic for that like creative side of things, and because I think they're putting the right people in DC right now. Like they're focusing on the right people in DC than they are like in Marvel and like Star Wars and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, but that's my big question. Like, who's in charge of franchises? How does it happen? So
there's a lot of moving parts, and for it to make something that you really enjoy, everybody's got to be on the same page.
That's true. Yeah, and you gotta have top down communication.
Us as fans, we can tell when there's something up.
Yeah,
like when there's a money grab.
Yeah, like with Star Wars doing something was up. Like whenever they started working on the next Halo games, like you could tell something was weird with Halo 4. Just in terms of the writing.
Not hyped for Infinite whatsoever. Like I don't even care anymore.
Yeah,
I didn't even play 5.
Yeah, I know. Like 5 got some pretty bad coverage. Like I liked where they were trying to go with it. With like, is Master Chief really a savior and all this, sort of dumb stuff. But I don't know how I would handle a franchise. Like I would probably do I think the Kevin Feige model should be like maybe even a standard. Like you have a big overarching storyboard. These are the pieces that need to happen. How do you get to point A to point B? James Gunn, you do this. Whoever directs the Iron Man movies, you do this. I think that would be a good thing. But like with anime, something that I've just started to get into, like with Bleach, it was all on one person, and that person wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. Like he's the only person that has say.
Yeah,
over the entire universe.
That's probably easier. If you're a good enough writer, that's probably easy not to have a bunch of other opinions on the story you want to build.
And you can tell whenever that person changes rules and stuff, because like in an early thing, like something happens where like this dude gets a sword from a dead person, and later on, and you could tell like this is years down the road. And he's like, okay, well, everyone has to be just born with a sword, and you can't control someone else's sword. And you could tell like, okay, like whenever he wrote this first storyboard, he didn't have like an idea, but then you see it molded off throughout the line, So I think that's why I like people that handle franchises by themselves. Cause like Star Wars is kind of full of contradiction if you look really hard,
I think that's what Chris is kind of trying to say, is that if he were to build something, he'd want to
he'd make a microcosm of linear, like a real linear storyline, but you can still have one character in a story if it's good enough.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's the same thing what you were saying with the whole Bleach thing, is that like it would be very difficult for me to like write a storyboard for like a first or like a part 1 and try to kind of correlate the two to like a part 2, part 3, part 4, because then afterwards I'm thinking, well, I should have done this differently in part 1, so that way I could fit this in. And that whole thing is becoming an issue, and that's where I find it more difficult, because I don't think I'd be that creative enough to like bend things at my will, just because I see it. I would see it too like linear and very like structured.
Yeah, but my thing is how people should be. Like they should create the timeline, like you're saying. Like they should build it all linear, and then you don't have to bend anything. It's all lined up perfectly.
Yeah, and for me, I would be really scared, because like if I wrote a character and I'm like, he doesn't like apples, that's his character trait. He hates apples. But then like 2 chapters later, he's chilling with an apple, eating it. I'm like, oh my God, wait. Like that would be me. That'd be like my worst fear as a writer. It would be like the little things like that.
Yeah, that's true. You know what really like makes me wonder how these things work is like Raised by Wolves, this new HBO Max series. Yeah, I think created by Ridley Scott as well.
I think so.
And
it looks interesting.
So he directs like the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Or like even different TV series and stuff like that do this. They have a director for like the first 3 episodes, and then they like switch off directors every other episode after that.
Yeah, like The Office, they did that. But I mean, like TV series, I think are different. Like in The Office, like every one of the cast members directed multiple episodes. And like just as a thing, and like you can kind of tell, like Paul Lieberman, the main executive producer of The Office, whenever he was writing the script, the HR guy that he portrays is not in the show. Whenever someone else writes, he's in the show because he doesn't like being in the show.
Okay.
And I always thought that was kind of funny. And whenever that was pointed out to me, I was like, oh, you know what? I noticed that. And like you can kind of notice when like Kelly, what's her name? Like writes like an episode or John Krasinski directs an episode.
Kelly Kapoor or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
that interests me so much because that's like a huge deal. Like
because I know it's Star Trek
entire directorial vision, like kind of,
like you're changing a little bit of how a character would typically say something, or like how you expect a character to say something. Yeah. Like Star Trek was kind of like that, but Gene Roddenberry still oversaw everything. Mm-hmm. Like he saw because he oversaw the original series, and then like Next Generation, he was a producer. I can't remember if he worked on Deep Space Nine. I'm pretty sure he did. And then, lastly, with Voyager, before he died. So he still had like an overarching, like he still had like directorial control over things.
Yeah.
So
I just don't mind how they make it like seamless. Basically, they even through that, and I guess that's just a testament to the job that they can do with these series and shows and movies and stuff. Like them paying attention to the things that they write. Yeah, exactly. Like The Simpsons, like has always like had a variety of like Conan O'Brien wrote for The Simpsons, really? And he wrote for them. Yeah, he wrote for them in the early 90s. Before he was a host, he wrote shows and stuff, which like I don't think I could point out a Conan O'Brien episode compared to like an episode today. That's the thing, yeah.
And so I think what's his name? The guy who wrote The Simpsons. I can't believe the show's still on the air. First off, like, how do you keep writing that show?
I have no clue. They get most of their like material from everyday life anyway. Like what we're doing or what a celebrity's doing.
Have you heard of the Simpsons conspiracy?
I don't know.
Okay,
let me hear it.
So they like within the show, like they predict future events.
Oh, so, yes,
like
definitely.
They had a famous one is like Bart Simpson predicts 9/11 because he's holding a newspaper and it says 9/11 and like it talks about an explosion or something, And then they had a coronavirus episode like back in the late 90s where like a Chinese like people are like coughing into boxes and shipping them off, and they call it coronavirus.
Wait, what?
The Simpsons has the whole conspiracy because we're talking about like how franchises can say like
continuity,
something like that. Congruently? What the heck?
Continuously?
I have no idea.
What are you trying to say?
I don't know. It's like they write like in a similar format, so you can't pick out things.
Oh yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
There's a word for it.
I have no idea what the word is, but continue.
Okay. Anyways, so the Simpsons conspiracy is like they have a bunch of like they predicted a bunch of events. Like they predicted Donald Trump in 2020.
They totally
like they had, and they predicted the coronavirus, and they predicted a whole bunch of stuff. And it's written in the show. And so like there's a whole conspiracy that Matt Groening like knows events and like he's part of the Illuminati type stuff.
Time traveler and all this.
Yeah. And so it's I was reading into it. I was like, oh my god, like they would actually predict like a whole bunch of stuff.
If you write a show long
and like stuff from like the 90s, like decades before it happens.
I know.
And people argue coincidence, and I say not.
If we have this podcast long enough, we'll probably predict some crap. Like we say a lot of stuff on this show.
We do.
We can probably predict something.
Just remember,
we predicted the downfall of Star Wars. If you listen to our like way back early when we talked about comic books and stuff, we talked about Star Wars, and we all said like the Return of the Jedi was bad.
Yeah.
And then we all said like whatever's going to happen next is going to be bad, and it was bad. It was terrible.
So bad. It was.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and that was real early on. So listen to us because we're correct, even though it doesn't sound like we know what we're talking about. We know what we're talking about
90% of the time, every time we're correct.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Do we have any other final thoughts, final announcements? Any more deep questions? Deep state? Do we want to go deep state? Do we want to?
We should do a deep state episode. I'm down.
What is the deep state episode?
The deep state is like all the national security appointments and stuff like that. Like all these people, like the people who are supposed to count the ballots. It's deep state.
Like the people,
like national security. Like the people of the National Security Institute, stuff like that. All these people that aren't appointed or aren't elected, that are they're all appointed by somebody.
The people that listen to what I say and then they give me an ad for it immediately.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the deep state. Okay, so I accidentally clicked on a Google Pixel phone ad yesterday watching YouTube, and I only get Google Pixel ads now. I'm not getting your phone, Google. Your phone sucks.
Well, I mean, I might, but that's a different story.
Just get an Android. It's better.
I have an Android.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You mean Android buddies. Get the latest Android. Don't get it.
Dude.
Yeah, I'll drink Trulies, so.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
I'll have Androids. Well, cool. Yeah, thanks, guys, for, sipping a cold one and hanging out with us.
Saturday for the boys.
Saturday.
Just a nice little Saturday.
This weekend, guys.
I'm about to go eat. I'm starving. But anyways,
yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. Be sure to share, subscribe, show us around to your friends, family,
coworkers,
sons, coworkers, kids. I don't care who. Just show us.
Families.
We are awesome.
Distant relatives.
So we'll come back to you next week with another awesome episode. We'll do some Veterans Day history, I think, right? Let's do some of that.
Yeah. And someone's birthday.
Ooh.
Archie's birthday is next week, so we'll have a little good birthday for him. So anyways, thank you guys for listening. This has been another episode of The Thought Arcade.
Bye.